And welcome to me pulling my microphone closer so the audio gets better. I like this how it works. It is another wonderful vlog Thursday, and I forgot to pull up the number. Oh, 285. It's at the very top of the screen. I should read that. Welcome to Vlog Thursday, episode 285, Cisco testing. That's what I've been doing. How about you? What are you guys working on? How's the 100 Days of Home Lab going? That's actually, I haven't been tagging as much on it. I should, because like every day's something constantly being worked on. But nonetheless, I really love what Techno Tim did and everything else. So it's always cool. Like I like when people tag me in Twitter talking about all those things, and it's been certainly generated a lot of interest. It's just cool seeing all the different awesome home lab projects and stuff like that. But the Cisco testing I've been doing has been less than pain-free, we'll just say. I don't even know what change it wants me to save again. But, I'm doing these Cisco reviews, and I don't want to, I'm not like, I'm going to be honest, but I just don't understand some of the Cisco stuff of how they do things. Like they just, I don't like, this is the access points, and I got to talk to them to make sure I'm not the one who's wrong. But it looks like, because this is the Cisco, zoom in a little bit here, 140 AC access point. They also sent me a 150. I assumed they would work together, but they don't. And I think that's weird. They actually say something along the lines, and I got to confirm this is all in their documentation. This is like the testing process I got to go through, make notes, so I can do the review because I don't use these all the time. But one of the things I can point out for sure is like they have mesh extenders in here, and then they have mesh, but you need the mesh backhaul in order to get the system to talk to other devices. But the other devices they sent me for review don't apparently show up in the mesh here. But yeah, so I'm going to turn this off because it doesn't need to be. Save configuration. But it's just not snappy or fast at all. It doesn't, the UI experience isn't amazing, but then it's reasonable. I think that's as long as it's usable. But I got to figure out which other devices work with it because I want to understand how this controller works. And I'm doing this in real time, folks. It just kind of pauses going through some of this stuff. It's just not, I'm not blown away with it. We'll just say that. Actually, Cisco Lab. I wonder if I haven't tested if this will work. I'm setting up VLANs on it, getting that to work. Editing this will break it. Yeah, we know. I don't remember. Oh, do I have the password noted? I do. So I can actually attach my phone to this so we get some stats. But enterprise or SMB Cisco? This is SMB Cisco stuff. This is some of their small business line that's supposed to be relatively affordable, allegedly. Let me see what this goes for. Cisco 140 AC. Wow, that's actually pretty cheap. We'll pull this. I wish I could just switch sharing to another. That'd be so easy if I could do that. We're just going to share my Amazon page now. I like it if I could switch between them faster. But no, they're this is their starter kit. So this is one access point plus 2 extenders. What is the model on these extenders? Because I have an extender, but I don't know which one. Which extender do I have? And it's in the other room. I'm not going to go get it. I got to sort that out. So they sent me an extender, but I don't know what the extender came in the same shipment as the 150 model, but the 150 doesn't work with the 140. And I didn't see a good product matrix for these. So that's going to be another thing. So 3 devices for that. But if you buy the 4, that's a really good price too. So here's the 140 AC. I mean, $97. That's the one I'm logged into is this model right here. That's not bad. What I think, and this is the part it's not 100% clear. See, Say a water, whiskey, or beer. All of the above. I don't think this is based on Linksys. It doesn't look anything like um it doesn't look anything like Linksys when you're looking at how it works. It's not a Linksys style interface at all. I mean they absorb Linksys, so is there some Linksys, in there? Maybe. Um, but limited lifetime protection. It's got all kinds of, the bells and whistles, performance, enterprise, MIMO 2x2, set up in minutes. I got to admit, the setup was relatively easy. I mean, that was not hard to do in this. So we'll jump back over to here. But as someone said, though, the product matrix, not really Cisco's strong point. Because if you just try to Google what ones work with these, because you can, if I understand this correctly, maybe it only is the mesh ones. Let me find Cisco's 140 AC page. So here is the Cisco page on it. Simplified management, mesh support, Cisco mesh, business extenders, access point, mesh extenders or access points. So I guess you need more 140s. I'm not sure. Which models does it work with? System, compliance, and safety. Ceiling access mount points. Yeah, I guess it works with the extender, but what's the model number of the extenders it supports? These are those little details that'd be great if we had those, but I don't know. This is what makes the review tricky, is getting all this information together. I Google it and it doesn't just land me on the page. So hey, we could be trying to make all their products look like the best ever instead of just giving the matrix so you can make an educated. Yeah, having a matrix of the products is just, I just want to know what features it supports. What can I pair it with? That seems like an easy question that should be answered. What does it work with? Because I found through some Googling, it doesn't work with the 150, which is the other one they sent me, is the 150. But the 150 doesn't seem to have a web interface. The 150 wants you to download a phone app and use your phone to configure it. So I'm going to review that one separate because it's clearly a different product. But you'd think 140 AC 150 would be in the same. They look the same, like physically, dimensionally. I just got that one in a box, plugged it in, thought, hey, it'll adopt or something, and it didn't. So there we are. But yeah, that's the testing I'm doing with that. Like I said, it's not I don't hate the product yet. I'm still reviewing it. So the jury's still out on it. But yeah, having a nice, where these are updated, they're updated April 1st. So it's relatively recent product. This documentation serves to use bias-free language for the purpose documents set in bias-free is defined in language. What does that mean, bias-free language? So I'm going to reach out possibly to the people I talked to. I want to make sure I have a clear understanding. I don't know. I don't want to misrepresent any of the Cisco stuff at all, but I am reviewing some of it. It does have some maximums. I think this is a weird statement here. Maximum of 50 access points, but only recommended 25. Why? Why? What? If you can do 50, why wouldn't you just say only recommended 25? So does the 150, this is what I'm not 100% sure of. So let's try and find it real quick. Cisco pull that up. So you can find the Cisco page on that. So here's their 150 page. Product overview, AC dual radio access point, cluster of APs, Features: supports 1.2 gigs. Single point controllerless technology simplifies deployment multiple access points without requiring additional hardware. The only thing I seen was I plug it in a network and it seems to need a phone app. I didn't see a way to get into the interface on it. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe there's something I'm missing. Number of access points per cluster, 4. So it clusters somehow. Maybe there's some controller software that I need. Is that in this list somewhere? Broken page. So for more information, click on this link down here. For more information on Cisco Small Business products, visit Cisco Small Business. Forbidden pager application. Nice. So 403, Cisco. Really? This was some of the problem I had and why I thought about emailing. I'm like, do you guys know your small business page is a 403? Like, I don't get it. That's not even true anymore. No one got fired from Cisco. I actually, very large company, they fired the people that bought the Cisco, then they fired Cisco. Sounds like a next Zoom call with David. Yeah. Like I said, you can see how challenging this is I'm like, if I'm someone who's experiencing this and having trouble finding things like, sorry, we can't find that page, report this broken link. I did already before we can report it again. Thank you for reporting it. We'll look into it. It's all it does. I don't know though how I'm supposed to review these products that don't have good documentation. Maybe I can find the book for it, a manual per se. The quick start guide says use a phone app. So it's, yeah. Seeing you live in UK. Do finish a current summit at one of your studios. You had a security camera behind you. What's the setup mini PC? What's setup mini PC? I don't know. I don't have a mini PC, so I'm not sure. I don't understand the question. In one of your studios, you had security cameras behind. I use Synology for security cameras. Maybe that's the question you're asking. So, yeah. So, we generally all the security stuff is Synology right now. We do some Ubiquity as well. It's just harder to get that in stock. Cisco is bad. Is Dell. Yeah, maybe. The product doesn't have enough license fees, therefore we're forbidden to learn about it. We'll go with that as an answer. That is an answer. If you don't have a product, if you don't have a license fee, you can do that. You can't learn about things about license fees. I don't know. For reference, and people will probably at least ask to some extent, this is our lab going in. I posted this. I took a picture today. They're starting to rack everything together. We're going to move all the servers. We got some new UPSs, and I will be doing a review of these UPSs and just talking about UPS stuff. So that is definitely on my to-do list. I know a lot of people have asked about it, and we're going to work with another company that help provide some. We have a partner that's going to help us provide a lot of knowledge on UPSs, so we can answer some questions on there. Sorry, not enough text. She had 4 displays, but I wondered how you got them projecting. Oh, that one, you can get them projecting with this Synology, but in that particular one in my old studio, that was done with the UniFi system. The UniFi has it's a tube. We call it, because we just keep calling it the video tube. But if you go to the UniFi page, they have the video tube thing. I did a review on it. You can find it, but it's the Ubiquity. It's only for Ubiquity, by the way. So it only works with the Ubiquity camera system. Tom, do you use a guest portal and UniFi equipment? Do you experience issues? I hate guest portals because they're always issue. Insert name of company, and you can have problems with guest portals. I don't like using them. So if I can avoid them, I'm completely happy with avoiding them. They all have issues. Cisco Enterprise is decent. Cisco Enterprise comes with so much confusing licensing. Does the hardware work? Yes. Does the licensing work? Um, the licensing is such a mess, and this was I really wish I could tell this the full story publicly, because it can give some context to the company. But one of my friends works at a large company, and my funniest story having a beer with him was basically how Cisco tried to repeatedly redefine what the word perpetual meant. Like they just had a different dictionary term for it because they sold perpetual licenses on some of the stuff that they had bought at this company. We're talking millions of dollars spent, and Cisco just wanted to redefine the way the license terms work. So those aren't perpetual. Oh, yes, they are right here. We paid this much for a perpetual license on this hardware. Well, we'll need to renew that. And it was just a uh, stupid problem. Viewport PoE. That's probably what it's called. Let me find that. We'll pull the product page up. Throw it in the window here. That's the box. Viewport PoE. So sold out, not in stock. This is a lot of the Ubiquity stuff has been hard to get. Lots of stuff's hard to get. I mean, it's not just a Ubiquity thing, but yep, that's the thing. I was gonna say, Tom, your videos are always, as always, but can you use your Nvidia Shield? You can use your Nvidia Shield, install the Protect app, look at your cameras, and cycle through them and stuff through the app. Oh, you can use. I've never tried. I don't have one. I mean, I don't know how well that works. Nope, these are not eaten. These are pull up the I don't have a model number. I will, I just don't have it in my head right now. So, and these are lithium. So yeah, sold out. Extreme power conversion. P91 2000 Li. Let's pull those up. So I didn't want to pull Google being stupid. Extreme power conversion. Model number someone put right there. P91 2000 Li. Let's see. Oh, all right. I got my friend Jordan here. Here we go. We'll go. He threw me the link. So I'll throw it in here. Throw the link in here. There we go. This is what you're looking at on the page. There we go. Fancy. So this is the one we're looking at. I threw a link in there too. So yes, this is what it'll be running in our rack there. It's pretty slick. So thank you. And yeah, like I said, Jordan is a friend. We'll be working together to talk about UPSs. So answer all your UPS related questions because there's a lot of them that people seem to have about things. So, do you have an sorry. Hi, Tom. Do you have any recommendations on what OS application to use in a cloud VM for port forwarding at home network over VPN? Not really. Not really. I mean, you can use proxies and things like that. But it's not something, maybe one day I'll do a video on it. It's not something we really use. Can a Cisco Rocky AP be reused, reconfigured, registered before have a location was sold and a new tenant and doesn't have any details? I don't know. Real fuzzy on how that works. So Not 100% sure if that's going to be a supported feature. I have never had to take any over that we didn't have access to. We've had to have, we've had a couple clients that had them and the accounts were transferred over from the old IT company, but we never lost access to them. So they were just shuffled around. Planning to switch from Ubiquiti Edge router to pfSense, 200 plus network devices, 15 VLANs in a hospital. Hey, sounds like fun. Lots of fun doing all that. The other thing I'm reviewing, the other Cisco thing, is this here. And we'll log into it. Now, the Cisco Switch is not as slow as the access point, but it's pretty slick. I'm not unhappy with the Switch yet. They actually have this. I think this is cool. You have the VLANs here, but you also have configuration wizards. So you can actually just run a wizard to create your VLANs. It's not, it's not super fast. There we go. I forgot I didn't have it pulled up. You can launch a wizard and define new VLANs here. Choose the trunk interfaces. Choose the VLAN ID. Next and yes. And
call came in from CompTIA. I tried to pick it up, but didn't get it.
Yeah, so that's kind of neat. Oh, let's see. But as I do the testing with it, the thing I kind of think is weird. So they have that wizard that shows you the dashboard and lets you click on the ports. But when you're on the dashboard itself, it doesn't show the screen and the ports. I just thought it'd be kind of neat if it showed that, but it doesn't. But it's got statistics and it shows it here under system summary. And you can click on each port this way, give it descriptions and stuff like that. I mean, it's not bad. I don't think, can you edit? No, you can't edit VLAN from here. But you can give it descriptions. You still has a different spot for VLAN edit. But being able to click any of these, I haven't tested, but I already know the answer because it's Cisco. I'm willing to bet these ports do not work with anything other than Cisco SFPs. That's kind of a given with Cisco, though, with the way they design them. They're pretty strict about that. I did my review of the Cisco 1000 series, and yeah, that's another silly thing that Cisco does is on 1000 series is they're like, yep, you're locked into this. You're going to use only ours. And everyone says, but there's a command you can type. And that command has actually been removed from that Cisco system. So yeah, this is like their small business stuff. This is the exact model of this switch is, let me pull it up and drop a page for you. The idea I think Cisco has is making some reasonably priced switches. This is a similar version of the switch for like $350 on Amazon right now. This is not the exact same. Is this they don't seem to have the exact model. Is it not in stock? That's that one. I'm looking for this model. The 8-port model with PoE. Yep. So $299. Not a terrible price. Limited lifetime protection. So, I mean, that's not a terrible price for a Switch. I mean, for the small business market, it's not bad. Are the lower cost 40 gigs worth considering over 10 gig hard to find 40 gig switch to use on my desk? I mean, do you need 40 gig? Do you have drives fast enough to sustain that data transfer rate? That's where some people will find that if you don't have the faster drives, then you got a fast connection, which is great if you have something that you need to traverse that fast. But 25 gigs become a lot cheaper. This the Ubiquity stuff's become. We have one of the Ubiquity switches. We've been trying to buy some more, but they've been out of stock pretty consistently lately. The 25 gig Ubiquity switches, I like those. They seem to work really well. That's why we want more of them. We've installed some at clients, and we are upgrading our lab at my office. We're thinking, why not go 25 gig? You're just keep making it faster. Some of you may have seen I posted, I think this one. Is it this video? Probably. I'm gonna go with this one. So throw it up in here. That slides really well. Yeah, it just clears. They're rolling the racks in, and my old studio is becoming a lab. So
new rack coming into place.
Yeah, that's what's going on at the office. So they're moving things around. But we're just going 25 gig for us. Yeah, the 40G was out before the 25, so you can find the 40G out there for that in between price. So hopefully that makes sense there. What was your thing I wanted to talk about here? So I mentioned UPS stuff. Oh, there's a new version of TrueNAS out. So let's log into that. It's the new 13.1 update. So we'll go ahead and log into this. But yeah, I did update to this. The update, as kind of expected, all the machines I updated so far had no problems at all doing the update. So I may do. I don't know if I should do a video on it or not. I mean, it's just an incremental update. It's the 13 U1 update. But the nice thing is, and TrueNAS had said there's some good performance gains out of it. So it's a little bit faster, not substantially, but a little bit faster. So it's something worth noting, but there's not a reason not to upgrade that I could find. So far, we've only done a few systems, and they all went really, really well. So yeah. Any thoughts on going 220 on the racks over 120? If you can go 220, there's some of the stuff's more efficient at 220 than it is at 120. So go for it. Yes, we're going to do a whole video on the lab once we get it built. I'm filming pieces of it as things get done. But when we start re-racking and redoing all the servers, that's when I'll actually take the time to do the filming of it. Problem with UniFi switches is a lack of proper layer 3. Do you need layer 3? If you do, don't buy UniFi. That's my answer on there. So yeah, in other countries, you only have the 220 options or 400. But the UniFi switches, whenever someone says, I have a requirement for layer 3, well, then don't buy UniFi. Not everyone has a requirement for layer 3, though, of the routing, I should say. That if you need routing on your switch, don't buy UniFi. They're terrible at it. That's not the ideal situation. Also, sometimes you don't really need routing when you think you do, because you can architect things differently. Because switches that can switch and do routing at high speed are expensive. It may be cheaper just to re-engineer things a little bit to put things on the same subnet so they don't have to be routed. Can you do a video on how to download pfSense backup from an automated backup system? Sometimes you just need to configure prior to replacing hardware as a way to grab it from FTP from Netgate. No, you have to do it through the Netgate interface with your password. So there's not much of a video to be done on it. I've talked about it, but the restore process is load pfSense, plug in password and ID, and away you go. Have I considered Fortinet? I consider Fortinet garbage. That company has had they've gotten better, but they've had a bunch of terrible security problems from bad coding practices. So I'm not a big fan of Fortinet. They have a big marketing team behind them that will keep the sales engine moving and get people excited about it. But I'm not thrilled with their product. It doesn't wow me in any way. Matter of fact, their past security problems are just stupid. Yes, this is a really good point right here. 220 VAC is typically more efficient and doesn't require as much copper to move the equivalent wattage when compared to 120 VAC. Typical US households use 240, and commercial use 208. If you actually want a fun video to watch, the what is his? I have to pull him up on YouTube. Technology. So this guy, I'll throw a link down below for people who don't know.
This video has had something like 7.
But he's got a great video on the whole topic. So the U.S. electrical system is not 120 volts. He breaks that down, and there's a lot to it. It's a rabbit hole if you want to get a better understanding of how electricity works and why things are like that. So. Let's see, go back here. 1 of 2, TrueNAS question. I have core, 3x on metal, and no Docker VM, but would like to run true command. Put scale on my old machine, maybe. Okay. What's the question, I guess? If I only have core, TrueNAS core, 3x on metal with no Docker. You can still run true command. You can try true command to core or scale. So is that the question is, can you put scale on any old machine? Maybe yeah, you can put scale on any of them. It runs on Debian. So as long as Debian supports it, the generally speaking TrueNAS scale should support it as well. Do I think is it enough to run it? It depends on what you're trying to run. This is the problem, is I can't tell you. It's kind of like, I don't know what you're running. It's kind of saying, can my computer run games? I don't know what game. If we don't know what game, then we're not sure what game your computer can run. So that's not an easy answer. Like this particular TrueNAS that I'm logging into, I need to get updated. Ignore that. I forgot until I logged in that I didn't update this one. This is an Intel Atom. So this is really slow at 1.5 gigahertz and two threads. This is a sadly slow machine. But it works. It works for what I need it for. So I can't really answer. Will it work? Probably. Will it work for what you need it for? That's a you question. Yeah. Technology Connections rocks. Absolutely. He's got a great channel. I figured there's a crossover of people who like watching Technology Connections and my channel. Like there has to be. He's one of my favorite people on there. Electro Boom is good too. Does this TrueNAS is specific to certain appliances? No, you can run TrueNAS on x86 hardware. Sorry, I didn't know True Command Admin Console, the thing view on machines, could run on Core. Yeah, it doesn't run on necessarily Core. It can control Core. So, and thank you again for the donation, by the way, each time. But you run True Command generally in their cloud, but I think they have, and it's been a while since I looked, a spot to run it locally. But generally you run it in their cloud because it's a subscription service. Yeah, Technology Connection, very interesting. We'll go with +1 for that. Yeah, USMs have 240 line to line. Europe has 240 line to neutral. Yeah, Earth is the extra pin. Our electrical system is a little different. different than the rest of the world. I don't know. I don't know. Did we electrify first? I've never really thought about that. Like, it kind of happened simultaneously, but I don't know who had the most population electrified first. I'm not an expert at it, so. Yeah, 208 is getting more popular. Like, my Tesla is plugged in at the 220. So I can run it cloud. Sorry, again, I didn't have more than 50 drives, so I thought it might be cheeky to use it for free. I'm not sure. I don't know what their licensing is now on it. I think they changed it, but I'm not positive. We can look it up though. We have the internet. So True Command. Somewhere we'll find the details that we're looking for. Manage your TrueNAS fleet all from one place. But where is the licensing? Buy a license. That didn't help. Where do you? I just want to know how much the license is. True Command software is free for fit update. You can employ in Docker container or as a VM. So yeah. So True Command software is free to use, manage up to 50 drives. So that's still how they do it. Up to 50 drives is free. You can run it in a VM. I imagine you'd have to run it in a VM because they don't have a jail for it. They only have a Docker image, it looks like. Goes back to Tesla and Edison when he created a better network, and the other one's better at getting the word out. Yeah. There's a whole the whole controversy between Tesla and Edison is interesting. Your past and distant sales experience. I still maybe. You have to log in to see the pricing. Yeah, I guess for the pricing of what they have. I have an account. I can log in. I think I have an account. Let's find out. We're going to learn in real time. I'm logged in another page. 60-day trial license, 50-day license, new subscription. So it's 100 drives is $20 a month, and 300 drives is $60 a month, and 1,000 drives is $200 a month. That's running it in their cloud. If you run it self-hosted, it's way cheaper. So if you run the self-hosted license, 100 drives is $199 a year, or 1,000 drives is $2,000 a year. So that's not bad to be able to manage everything and have a nice dashboard for all of it. Oh, Docker or put in a VM. So yeah, it's either run Docker or build it in a virtual machine. So those are the options on there. The U.S. did debate was between AC and DC. Yeah, Tesla understood it better, and Tesla wanted AC. That's AC was the superior form of transmitting electricity, not DC. That's why we still use it. Start converting VHS to Plex. Oh yeah, that's a project. I haven't done anything like that in a long time. Doesn't TrueNAS not like to be run with Docker and a VM? It's the True Command software. I wouldn't run TrueNAS as a VM. You can, it's just not recommended. But the True Command software, which is a management tool to manage all of your TrueNAS servers, even if they're all remote because they all VPN back in, that works off of usually like a Docker container. The day prior, Dockerized my Zen Orchestra. My own Docker file now Orchestra runs as a Docker container on my Synology, freed up an extra gig of RAM on the cluster. Yeah, you can do that for sure. This came up last time. I mean, you can run Zen Orchestra not inside of a VM. It can be completely somewhere else. It can be a virtual machine on your desktop if it makes you happy. So yeah, it's definitely pretty cool for being able to, that way you can move around your infrastructure, or if you have to reboot your XCP-ng, or if you only have one XCP-ng system, you can manage it and reboot it, but not lose Zen Orchestra. Oh, you're welcome, Chris, for the True Command help. I'll get another G4560 for a nice low power VM machine, probably using your preferred XCP-ng. I love XCP-ng. That's still our new lab is going. It's actually, we're building a Ryzen lab. So or Epic, so AMD lab, I should say. We have Verizon. It works so well that we want to go with some Epic processors because they're just so much more power efficient. I did talk to like Wendell did the Forbidden Router with one of those AMD Epics, and the power usage on it's really low, and it's just kind of impressive for the kind of power and processing you get out of it. So. Any thoughts on moving a well-working VM SSD storage array off a PERC H710 Mini and onto a ZFS pool? 4-drive RAID Z1? Yeah, 4-drive RAID Z1 should be fine. You're going to have to reformat the drives. I mean, you can't just convert the PERC over to ZFS. Watch my video on doing backups and disaster recovery. Once you've taken all of the time to set it up, make sure you have a proper backup of everything. So I have a whole disaster recovery thing on it. So yeah. Yeah. If you got a single node cluster because you have to, what you do is, I'll show you real quick. Pull this up. One thing that if you're running it like this is you just make sure it's got the auto power on feature. That way, whenever you restart it, it just auto starts back up. And that'll save you from, that's how we do ours, because we do have to reboot our servers. They do run within there when there's a patch, and that's the solution. They start back up on there. So XCPD really hated one of the systems I had on a J3455. Oh, excuse me, yawning a little bit today. Netgate question. Bought a Netgate 6100 last year. How to activate TAC Lite? So I usually start dated shipping or start first time connect to the internet. I don't know. That's a them question. I don't think I've ever contacted their support for anything other than images and to return a bad unit once. So I never really paid much attention to that. Since VMware got sold out, I make new migration plans to XCP-ng, migrate all the VMs. Yeah. AC only won because it was backed by Westinghouse, and they were a massive company back and still big today. Well, AC won because it would have not been feasible to try to push DC. Ryzen, guess it doesn't need ECC you don't need ECC. ECC's nice, but yeah, it's not needed. Ooh, nice Epic Roam system for the home lab. That's some power there. Well, lots of compute power, but not too much power, electrical power. Well, there's always a conversion loss when you go from AC to DC. That's how we get those fancy power ratings when that you see on power supply. So computer. like these here. 80 Plus trademark was a volunteer certification program launched in 2004. 80% efficiency at 2050 rated low power 0.9 load. This is kind of what we were talking about is your power efficiencies. And there is a loss. There's a conversion loss when you go from AC to DC. But if you were to try to push DC to someone's house, then you have a different problem because DC has great loss over distance, but you do have to convert it because DC is what has to go into these. This is why I think Facebook had a rack like this. Hold on. Book server rack. But one of the things they do is, I think it will pull it all up together. If we're looking at the same thing. Some of these liquid cooling manifolds, I think they use a single rack and power design. It's not the one. Too many windows jumping around. But they started doing this so they're not converting as much because now you're doing short distance. DC is fine for short distances and you want to avoid conversion loss. But if you are doing longer distances, then you're going to want AC to get things on there. So peek inside of Facebook next generation rack. It's kind of neat. Facebook opens up a lot of their hardware talking about it. So it's great reading if you just want to understand what a company, you could dislike the company like many of us do, but it's fascinating from a technology standpoint, how many servers they have to do to keep everybody's social media running. Netgate question. Have you tried TNSR? Do you have any use case for it? I don't have a use case for it. It's slick. It doesn't have a UI, by the way. It's command line driven. So command line and API driven. So take that for what it's worth. I don't really have a use case for it, so I don't use it. Most rectifier circuits are astonishingly efficient, even in DC system convert to AC and back. And yes, we have gotten way ahead of, in the early days of simple bridge rectifiers, things like that. We are really, the efficiencies are there. Engineering, to be able to create incredible things that didn't exist not that long ago. I mean, the photos I take with my phone, the video and everything blows me away for quality. And when you think about it, I mean, I didn't just not grow up with cell phones in the way they are now, but like the whole concept of just a screen with a phone, that technology went from, futuristic to everyone has one in their hand now. So that, yeah, like all technologies, things have gotten a whole lot better. Got the Super Micro MD, I'm not saying the whole word, Mini ITX motherboard for my home lab, and my Synology is a nice SCSI target. Cool. What is your recommendation for setting up XOA with XCPNG? Do you create a XOA VM on your virtualization node, or you compile it in a separate machine? I put it in a separate VM. That's if you watch my getting started with an open source home lab video, that's my recommended way to do it. Even inverter circuits, so 90% efficient back to AC levels of power. For instance, UPS in its rack is able to convert AC DC at a 95%. Yes, and that is the we'll actually pull back up. That'll be something I bring up because it's I find it really interesting how all these work. So we'll be diving into the video. This is what's in our rack that we're using at the office, and yeah, that's what he's talking about. This the 95% efficiency because of the conversions. So am I excited about the Webb telescope? Yeah, I like space stuff. So I like Star Trek. I like telescopes. Both are cool. I often find people who like telescopes also like Star Trek and space stuff. So I don't hate Star Wars, but I'm Star Trek over Star Wars, just so we can have that debate and anyone who needs to know. Any plans to jump 240? We have 240 to our homes. We just don't utilize it, with the exception of certain appliances like electric dryers, electric stoves, and electric cars like my Tesla are all 240. Well, good afternoon, Alexis. I didn't see your other comment. I may have missed it. I did not pass it. JWST runs ZFS? I don't know. Hard to say. What else was I going to cover? I think that's all I had for today. We'll go a few more minutes if there's more questions. I don't think I have I don't have anything else on my agenda. I have some stuff I want to get done today. That's about it. Let's see, that's down. That's down. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah, why not? We'll throw people have asked about this, so we do have this as a comment. Hot sauce is this is pretty good. This is the habanero palm. It's pretty neat. And there's one more in here. I didn't get a name of it though. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll tweet about hot sauces or bring them up in live shows. I don't. We don't really do the hot sauce videos because people would unsubscribe to us for putting those up. So we just kind of stopped. Can I guess what your favorite TV show is? Is it Star Trek? It may not be. I don't think, Alexis, it's going to be Star Trek. I could be wrong. I might be wrong. Been out on my bike lately. Yes, that I've been doing. So the where'd it go? I had a picture somewhere. Yeah, I went riding with some friends the other day. So yeah, I have definitely been out on my bike. I went 270 miles, mostly dirt. So I beat up on the bike pretty good. I don't have enough content to actually make a separate hot sauce channel. So not really on my agenda. Motorcycle channel? Maybe. That's a maybe. Oh, this happened. So I rescued a bunch of frogs. So this is my let's see, you can pull it up here. This is my egress. So when I'm looking this way, I'm looking at the monitor, but when I look a little bit this way, I'm looking at my egress out of my studio, because my studio is in the basement. And why does that matter? Because frogs or toads, not frogs, don't mix them up, hatched in there. So I actually had to rescue a bunch of toads. So that was fun. Oh, the bike video was cool. Yeah, I did. I posted a bike video on my Twitter. But yeah, so I did rescue toads. So that happened. Then I released them into my backyard where they hopefully didn't get eaten by birds and are hopefully doing their job of eating bugs. Love the bike. Yeah. I spend a decent amount of time out on my motorcycle. That's my get away from tech is actually I have 2 motorcycles. Well, 3. Because my wife has one, but she doesn't ride it much, so I have 3 motorcycles. She has a motorcycle she doesn't ride. I ride my little Honda and I ride my big Yamaha. I like my little Honda too. This is a 72 Honda. So yeah, that's my other hobby. Anytime you're going to review Trust Key or another authentication knobs is still in the works. Yes. I have it here. I've been using it. I haven't had a problem. I wanted to use it for a little while, see if there's any problems with it. It's Fido, and Fido works wherever Fido works. So yeah. Can you install driver updates to the client computers? If yes, are they easy to configure? We install Windows updates, but I don't think it does driver updates. No, not for but Windows handles a lot of the drivers. So kind of, because Windows is doing it. You need to have an electric bike. They don't make any good ones yet. Electric bikes are a little tricky. Are your hands on the daily tech in your business client side, or you leave it all to your techs? I do architecture and design. I'm not the person is often doing the deployment. So it's not, I do a lot of the work for the big picture stuff. I love setting up servers and things like that. I don't like setting up like a bunch of users in AD, for example. That's really not something I do anymore. So it kind of depends. My hands are still on the tech, just not dealing usually with an end user. I usually deal with, we do a lot of project work with other IT companies, like, or internal IT teams. That's usually where the work is that I'll do. I'm not the one pulling the wire either. So that's not my thing either. You got two of these, soon to be three. Oh, 3D printing or CNC? My staff does. I don't really do it. Whenever I need something 3D print, I just ask them to do it. And my staff is good at 3D printing things. It's cool. I own 3 3D printers, I think, or 2. They're at my office, but I've never used them. My staff uses them. They like printing things. I was actually trained for CNC, but I don't do it anymore. Like that's what I went to school for in the 90s, was doing tool and die and machining. So, oh, you like Chicago PD because of Jay Halstead? Cool. Make a hot sauce series and bring other IT YouTubers, IT brands, developers that are trying to hot sauce will give the product sales pitch. Yeah, we actually laughed because we thought a cool pitch would be hacker hot ones, hack things while you're eating spicy food. I mean, yeah, it's a complete ripoff of hot ones, but it's still fun. And it's not like we would hide it. We're like hacker hot ones, just like the regular hot ones, but we interview hackers. Like, yeah. Used to fix CNC machines. Yeah, we have a lot of clients that have them because we have manufacturing clients, so they have all these fancy machines. But yeah. But that's about it. I'm going to wind it down now. Thank you for everyone who joined. I will continue until I have some conclusions in my notes for all the Cisco questions I had. Looking forward to, and I'll leave some comments on this video about the UPS stuff. Let me know what questions you want, because I'll be covering that. There's always probably questions and misconceptions that people may have about UPSs, and I'm going to be working with someone to bring them on the channel and or help me put together a good talk on exactly what makes a good UPS and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited getting this whole lab put together and everything else as well. So that's huge when we have all that done. And yes, I'll be filming it. And one of the reasons we're doing it is because I've got a lot more things to test, and it's hard to test them unless they're all lined up in one rack. So that's part of the reason we're doing this, just to make it all simple, to make doing videos easier. So yes. You could get the brand guys to come and set up a device in what hot sauce. Yeah. Hot sauce keyboard. Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Take care and see you next time.